When I listen to Audible, I'm not cooking dinner for one. I'm on horseback, galloping across the Scottish moors towards my one true love. There, through the mist, I see my beloved, kilt flapping in the breeze. The fibers of his shirt struggle against his bulging muscles as he takes me from my horse and... my frittata!
Go to audible.com/start trial and your first download is free. Audible. Stories that surround you.
Welcome to the war room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the hot block commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to get the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. From sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th or the war in Kuwait. It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated. Oh, come on.
What up, good folks out there? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm your man, Devin McMillan. I'm at the round table with my mans in them, Jimmy the Blueprint and B. Austin. NFL football is back, and week 1 was actually pretty good. The Kaepernick protest is picking up steam. Fred Purdue has the latest in college football, so keep it locked right here for the next 2 hours. If you want to holler at us throughout the show, join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or you could join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call in directly in about 40 minutes after we talk to Fred Purdue. When we open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline, that number as usual is 323-410-0012. Quick reminder before we get started, like we always do, we want to let you guys know when we're not on the air. Please remember to check out the greatest podcast network there is. Besides our own program on the War Room Sports Podcast Network, you can also listen to shows such as The Broad Street Line with Roy and Chris, The Tissue and the Tape Hip Hop Show with Phil and Survive, After Further Review with the Mayor, John Appetit with the Burtons, and a whole lot more sports, culture, entertainment. Just visit warroomsports.com, click the WRS Podcast Network tab, and you're in there. Fellas, what up, what up, what up?
Man, you already know, man. It's football season. You know what I'm saying? First thing I want to say before we get started, everybody listening that's in our picks can pick them. Make sure y'all put your picks in because there are Thursday games. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to start with that.
Glad you said that.
I just want to say salute to the revolutionaries, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, John Carlos, Colin Kaepernick, Jeremy Lane, Eric Reed, and all those who will follow suit. Brandon Marshall.
The young boys at Beaumont, Texas. Woodrow Wilson High School in New Jersey. Shout out, Coach Brown.
Shout out to every African-American athlete who is now under fire and being called nigger by fans that come to watch them play those games of amusement. Salute to y'all.
Yo, in the words of your man Marshawn, man, shout out to my real Africans.
Africa. All right. So what's going on this week, man? I mean, besides the same old stuff that's been going on for the past 3 weeks, how you gentlemen, man? B, I know you in your full soccer dad mode right now. I be getting the calendar invites for games that I won't be knowing about until I get the calendar invite. You might want to put the notification on a little earlier because if I find out 10 minutes before the game, it's a little difficult for me to make it out there.
Yeah, I apologize, and the game had far away and a lot of travel. But, yeah, hopefully we have the next Paul Pogba or Ronaldo on our hands at the very least.
I was thoroughly entertained by the one that I did come out to.
Yeah, he'll got some skills.
The young ball's kind of nice on the pitch.
Okay.
Yeah, he African fast.
He's African fast.
You got that bloodline.
He's a real African.
Shout out to my real Africans.
Also, Tariq Nasheed, hold your head, because it's only a matter of time.
It's a matter of time before we can't find his head.
We can already give him martyr status. Just tell it he's one of the martyrs.
Yeah, I mean, he bought us one of our favorite songs. We don't have to play it now because we will definitely play it during this episode. So we'll definitely shout out the brother, when we play one of our favorite songs. All right, so let's get down and dirty. It's sports talk time. So I'm gonna let everybody know what happened this week. While y'all on the grind. And while y'all were on the grind is brought to you by DirecTV. If you'd like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, including that NFL Sunday ticket, man, I took my Sunday ticket for a spin last week. Just like good old times. But if y'all need that, which I don't see why you wouldn't right now, just go to our website, warroomsports.com, click on the DirecTV logo, and order yourself a better TV experience at a discounted War Room Sports sign-up rate. Because if you call yourself a sports fan and you're not getting your piracy on, then you got to have DirecTV. All right.
Shots fired or
Salute
no?
all my pirates.
Yo, the Ryan Lochte saga will not end. We already know Dancing with the Stars started this past week, and he was going to be on it, even though, he pretty much embarrassed the country. But, if you sit down for a song, it's way more serious. But some protesters kind of bum rushed the stage, and I'm dating myself with my slang. They bum rushed the stage. It was two cats while he was in the middle of his dance routine. Now, when these two guys, because, everybody looked at him and kind of expected, like, well, maybe they were Brazilians and they're mad that he went down there and embarrassed their country and had everybody on edge about crime. But they weren't. Like, they were Americans. And the two protesters actually spoke out recently, I guess, after they got out the clink. They said they stormed the stage with anti-Lochte shirts on because Ryan Lochte is to blame for the arrest of one of their relatives in Brazil. Now, peep this. Their relative, because it was like an older dude and another cat. So one of them was his uncle, one of them was his cousin, the guy that got detained in Brazil. He got arrested at gunpoint for embezzlement and document forgery. And like I said, the family claims that Lochte's antics made Americans a target for the police. Now, before I get you guys' opinions on this, I got to give you one more fact. The dude that got arrested for, forgery and whatever, the dude had 51 tickets and a fake ID on him while he was arrested. What the hell does Ryan Lochte have to do with your criminal-ass nephew and cousin trying to get off 51 fake tickets to Olympic events? Come on, son.
Free Bobby Shmurda, free Rasha, free everybody that's guilty from the hood, but we still say freedom.
Yo, anything that happened in Brazil after that, like, everybody's just going to put it on Ryan Lochte. Like, it's his fault.
He deserves it.
I got a bad egg sandwich the next morning, man. If Ryan Lochte didn't do that, then they wouldn't be targeting Americans for bad egg sandwiches.
I mean, that's right. It's a hell of a stretch, but this is an opportunity to slander Ryan Lochte, and I will not miss this opportunity, even though it is like, this is what I like to call one of those Dial Sim stories because it's a long stretch. Shout out to my Street Fighter players. But,
y'all don't be catching
bars.
Everything's Ryan Lochte's fault, man. Like, because he really embarrassed the country, man. But this story is kind of hilarious. Dude was a so-called criminal, but it's pure comedy. Like, this doesn't even sound real. But, Ryan Lochte, you're still a scum. And, you deserve to go away and disappear because you embarrassed the entire country, and no one still knows why. I mean, I know why. It's because of the little boys, but, that's either here or there.
I'm going to just play, Jimmy, the card. Why? Because it was given to me. I got a right to. If Ryan Lochte was black, he would have never made it out of Brazil, and we would have never heard from him again.
I'm with y'all in the fact that I still don't understand what the whole Ryan Lochte thing was about. But what I also don't understand is why is everybody so mad at Ryan Lochte, though? Like, he played himself. Like, it doesn't affect me. I think it's funny. I don't know why everybody's so upset with the dude.
Well, I think is they upset with him because of like everything else that's going on in the country, and it's sort of like another smack in the face, like, oh, so this dude goes out there and embarrasses the country, but then X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like at this point, how tight the world is because of like technology and social media. It's like every damn thing is connected. You know what I'm saying? Like I put a post up this week that was football
everybody's
related.
going to use. They can use Lockheed's situation and tie it to anything, just like I choose to tie it to the chamber. Like you can say almost anything. So I agree. I can see that, whether relevant or not.
I was posting some of our content this week in reference to. We had a couple debates about the best wide receiver in the league, and I was like, I gave my opinion that Antonio Brown was the best receiver, and someone told me, well, what does Antonio Brown got to say about the Tamir Rice killing?
Yo,
what? I'm like, I don't have no clue. But what does one thing have to do with another?
On it.
Just like obviously and also another piece of content we posted this week was a debate whether Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Famer or not, and I got at least 4 people that tell me, they trying to either get rid of Cosby. Shout out to Lamont Alex Sharp because he wrote a whole John on my Facebook page. Like going in on like about the whole Cosby situation. So my point is saying all this is, it's like stories these days. Everything is related to everything. It's like one ongoing conversation.
Everybody get their reach on, man. Everybody got
it's like one
reach of a heavyweight champion.
Dollarsman is present and accounted for with all of this reaching. So great bars, man.
But listen though, it's like one long conversation that's consistently going on in the entire world, and just extra things that is thrown into the mix. That's all it is.
Because all of this got something to do with Kaepernick. All of it.
All of it. Lockheed had something to do with Kaepernick.
The Russians hacking stuff, me and B was just talking about before we came on air. All that. That's
my Kaepernick. Man. All I got to say, my man Putin is probably standing behind Kaepernick, man.
He's too busy behind Trump right now.
Exactly. All right, but everybody hates you, Ryan Lochte, but hold your lying ass head, man. I'm with you. Yo, and the crazy part is these dudes went on national television. I don't know what they were going to do because I don't even think they was going to try to rumble the dude or nothing. They just wanted to get on stage and be seen. But they did all of that, and their dude down in Brazil, he's been released, and he paid a $264 fine. So I'm like, if they found you and you actually had 51 fake tickets and a false ID on you, you got off real easy because you just paid my direct TV bill to get out of the country. So you're good.
Man,
that's all. I'm like, exactly. I'm like, so what's the complaints about? Like,
listen,
I think they just
I didn't know much about this story, man, and I'm severely disappointed in how this is all like. Like I thought they were doing more than what they were doing, man. They just, oh man. That's for everybody.
Yeah,
that's for everybody, Brazil included.
They just wanted to be famous, man. Well, we were just talking about standing behind Kaepernick, man. Well, there's one football team that is standing behind Kaepernick, and that is an 11-year-old football team in Beaumont, Texas. They decided to take their stand against racism by taking a knee during the playing of the national anthem. That's funny, though, because when I played Little League football, ain't nobody play like the Lottie Dottie, let alone the national anthem.
That's because you didn't play football in Texas, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
True story.
Different.
Shout out to the West
where we come from, like before the game started, hear "Don't stop, get it."
and Jim, and that's coming from the automobiles that are pulling up to drop kids off to the game. Like it's not a sound system at the game. Like we ain't had that kind of money.
My man Luke used to just get a hot beat and just say a bunch of like profanity.
Hit it.
Let that really pop. Drop that.
Drop that.
Yo, Luke is a savage.
Yo, he didn't even say any words because it would be like, ho, ha, hit it, ho, ha, hit it.
The spokesman, the spokesboy for this team, Jalen Parkinson. He was the one that they kind of talked to for this article that I read about it. But when the anthem began on Saturday night, Jalen and his teammates, the Beaumont Bulls, they took off their helmets, kneeled, and placed their hands on each other's shoulders. They were following, of course, in Colin Kaepernick's example. Jalen says, even though we're kids, we can still get the information and know about the stuff that's going on. Jalen's mother, April Parkinson, she says her family knows racism very well, especially, living in Texas. They said even before any of this happened, their kids were called the N-word on the field by these other little kids, playing in this league. So since they made this protest, they've had people giving the 11-year-old team death threats.
Wow.
Death threats to an 11-year-old team for exercising their rights. Even the team's former head coach told News 12 in Beaumont that he disagrees with the team decision to kneel. He said, I was just disgusted with the whole thing. This guy name is Trey Martin. I don't know if he's black or white. He might be on that train. He said the only reason those boys get to play football, listen to this, and we have a country like we do is because of our veterans and flag and what it represents. What did they do that had anything to do with a veteran? Truthfully, what did they do to have anything to do with a flag? It's a song.
It's a song that talks about killing slaves in the third stanza.
What's wrong with I'm so sick of this topic, but it's like because it's never about anything. Like it's pure BS at this point. Like
no, it's not BS, Jimmy.
No, hey, it is. It's a crock
about racism.
Poo. No. I'm talking about the comments and everything are crock of poo that come from this because like they never discuss the reason why. You know what I mean? Like they never discuss the reason why. No one wants to talk about why when it comes to anything. Like one of their easiest deflections is, well, what about Chicago? What about black on black crime? They don't want to talk about the why on that either, though. They don't want to talk about the why on that. It's like they're fighting.
One more thing before y'all go in.
That up.
Down there, somebody who was supporting their organization and what they did, somebody commented to that person, "Kill them all." Kill them all. They're 11-year-old boys. You know what I mean?
Yo.
They're 11-year-old boys.
Yo.
Yeah.
I try not to golf in all of this, but like almost every day, there's a new low that's set with the responses to this. And it's like, I just can't fathom the level of evil that's tied to this. Man, next topic.
I told y'all, man, it makes me nervous because I've still yet to meet somebody in my everyday life that openly thinks like that. No, that's what I said. That openly has the heart to think like that. Because remember, I talked to you guys on a prior episode. I'm like, I mean, it can't be possible that I've met all of, I'm around all of the great white people of the world. So somebody has to be feeling this way but being quiet because they don't have
the courage. I mean, that's just simple. I think that most feel this way, right? I think that, and I should.
They don't have courage.
Yes, I can, man. I got courage. I think most feel this way, but I think most of them feel this way, and honestly, it's not even their fault. This is learned behavior for one, and for two, it's just that it's an overall lack of empathy in this country for your fellow man. It's like
you lack empathy.
You can't have compassion. This whole thing of like get over it, or you're lucky to have this. Like I don't even understand that. This whole co-opting of Martin King and what he stood for, and I know we're going to talk about that later. But I heard on the upcoming episode of Quick Slants, I heard a little bit of the pre-podcast, but like this whole co-opting of Martin King and a lot of our other heroes, it's ridiculous, but it's allowed to keep going on. That's why I'm glad that we have people in the world now checking people, because a lot of people are checking people. Shout out to the professor that wrote that article, but outside of him, just in general, It's like B. Austin, you made a comment how like every day things seem more egregious, but the bottom line is cats got to start getting checked, man. Like because you can't let things go on this way. This is how people start to believe
that's what we hear. That's what we here for. In terms of yes, it's War Room Sports, but we here to check you if you get out of hand. But it's like how much checking. Like there's got to be a culture of checkism. Like we got to teach people to check people.
Checkism.
I mean, we checking folks for 2 hours every week, but at some point,
we only
it's
3.
so frustrating that these checks going to turn into chin checks. Like I'm just going to be childish.
I mean, let's have it, man.
Like I'm about to be childish with mine, man.
Save me a trip to the gym. Let's just have it.
Yo, Jimmy.
It's about to
Dev
be
ain't
Paul.
had 3 kids and a wife. If Dev ain't had 3 kids and a wife, he'd be dead already, man.
Oh yeah, I know that. Somebody would have found him on Facebook and killed him.
Paul, I know how many people done threatened to look for me on Facebook.
I mean, the bull did threaten to bomb your crib because y'all was arguing over like somebody's jump shot.
Sometimes he giving out his address.
Yo, I'm nervous. Where these black people be getting these, this artillery from? Bull said he was gonna bomb it though.
Yo, Bo didn't say he wanted to fight you or shoot you. He said, I'm just going to bomb your fucking... excuse me. That is what he said. He said, I'm going to bomb your effing block.
Yo.
How you go from arguing about, I think it was a basketball argument. How you go from arguing about basketball to, I'm going to bomb your block?
Then I gave him the address to, the worst block in the city of Philadelphia.
Yo.
He might have came. He probably got murked.
Yo,
he probably didn't make it out. Oh man, but back on topic, man. I appreciate the fact that there is a level of checking that's going on, but the other thing that's painful, and I know that you guys can relate to this and empathize. It's like we know that hero worship and sycophantism and all that is probably not a word is out of
made up
hand.
like 4 words in the last 2 minutes.
Richard Ridery, that's not our thing, but we all have athletes and celebrities that we may have a bit of an affinity for and that we support. Yo, this last, I'd say 2 to 3 years has really revealed people's character. And people get on the microphone and in front of the camera coming from a background where you would think that they could relate to the common experiences of black men in this country, and they say the damnedest things and play themselves way out of position. And that's one of the things that's really sad because they support. I guess they're supporting where their revenue comes from. So I guess
what it is, B. Austin? That's like a problem that it's so many things that lead to that, right? First of all, some of them are so far detached in terms of where they come from. Like we were talking in our group meet, John, and shout out to all the people in our group meet, War Room Sports Game Time, about how Ray Lewis always talks about those people and them people and, these people. But he constantly does it. And a lot of times, I don't think he realizes he says that. Like, they're so far removed from where they come from, so they don't have that empathy. That's one. 2, they'll throw you on TV very fast if you come on there slandering your own people. So some people, and this goes for all races, have made, this is capitalism at the end of the day. They've made a business out of basically pain, and this goes white and black. I mean, you have people now who become like celebrities like Tommy Lauren. How many people know about Tommy Lauren until the race issue started to boil up in this country? You see what I'm saying? So people have capitalized off of this and are making money off of this. Like they're pain pimps. There's a lot of pain in this country right now, and people are just pimping it out and making money. And a lot of these athletes, they're so far removed, or they figure out this is their way in. I'll be the conservative, person on this topic. So it's kind of ridiculous.
So it's like an angle. So it's like even if they don't believe it necessarily, they're playing an angle, and that too is dangerous to me because
it's
you're
more dangerous.
influencing people.
I think that's more egregious because I honestly believe that some of these, even white people, don't believe some of the stuff they say, but they know what it is.
Yo, speaking of that, Jim, people forgetting where they come from. I was having a conversation today. Shout out to Roy from the Broad Street line because it was with some of his people. And it came up somebody was saying they still aren't sure of how they feel about athletes taking on social issues and stuff like that, athletes and entertainers. And, to me, it was dangerously starting to sound a little like the, shut up and play type thing. But it never really went all the way there. But, from my point of view, and for what Jimmy just said about Ray Lewis and cats like that, like, I think the main reasons why athletes who care are actually great mouthpieces for social issues, especially issues of oppression like what Colin Kaepernick is standing up for, is because a lot of those dudes come from those situations. So it's like they're just that same
come
dude
from those
that they're speaking out for, but they had a gift that kind of quote unquote got them out. So it's like, had they not had that gift, they'd be amongst the millions of people affected with no voice to make an honest attempt at change. So
I mean, it's a lot to that, right? Because I went on this whole rant last week, and you can listen to that podcast, episode 300, and Kobe Bryant, because I'm talking about how it's important. And one thing I see that comes from this Kaepernick thing is there are people who had no interest in this issue or race issues or social issues who are getting engaged because like it's happening within their bubble, and their bubble is called sports and football. So the whole concept of just play football has always been ridiculous to me, because before football, he's a black man. When football's over, guess what he's still going to be? He's going to be a black man.
Yeah.
Because the kids, they're going to be black shirts. So it's like, to say just play football is ridiculous, because that's people tell us just talk about sports, forget social issues.
Yeah, I didn't tune into the war room to hear all of this. I didn't tune into y'all to listen to y'all talk about. Yeah.
So I mean, like before anything, we're black men, and like they never forget that, man. It's about being unapologetically a black man. Like some people try to like be timid.
Yo, man, salute to James Baldwin. Even though you was a show by him, you have some of the greatest quotables, man.
Oh, he got bars for days.
All right, so did y'all hear about the Cigar Lounge? In League City. Where the hell is that anyway? Is that in Texas?
It just sounds like
place that need to fall off the map.
I think it's in the Houston area or something. If anybody knows otherwise, please correct us.
Everything racist just sound like Texas. Shout out to Texas.
Yeah, but shout out to Texas. But the Cigar Lounge is basically, they went viral actually because they posted a photo. They duct taped a Colin Kaepernick jersey to the ground right outside of the door, and they're using his jersey as a doormat. Considering that their crowd is like an older conservative crowd, most of their patrons have approved of it and are very, very happy that they're doing it. So, again, it's a bunch of people who are totally ignoring the fact that he's doing what he's doing for social justice. They're just mad at him because, this monkey has the nerve to speak up, I guess. That's how they're treating it. Like they're saying stuff like that. But, so, they've had the jersey out there and people come in, they wipe their feet on it, take pictures of it, and they're happy about it. This is the country we live in. It's like every act that we've seen since he started this proves him right.
What he's protesting.
The point of what he's doing.
That's the irony. Like a lot of times people don't understand how like ironic things are. Like all you're doing is proving him right. Like and that's what makes it comical.
And if you don't understand why, here's a man that's saying that there's a problem, representing a segment of people that's been saying there's a problem, that have given evidence. They don't even really have to give that evidence. The evidence is in media, both social and otherwise. There's a problem here. Then you're saying you should be thankful that you have the right to live here in the land of the free and the home of the brave. But now are you saying that we should shut up about what's going on? Because to me, that's unpatriotic. And the alleged principles and values that are the foundation of America, one of them standing up or taking the freedom to stand up and fight against injustice and what's wrong. So either you're saying that that's not what the country really stands for, or you feel as though these people aren't being treated unfairly or unjustly, or maybe it's a combination of both.
Yo, what cracks me up about this is like, just getting into, because I see this on so many pages, how white folks love to run to Martin Luther King. But the fact of the matter is, if he was around today, they wouldn't like him either because he was pointing out. Yeah, this is true too. It's like it's definitely revisionist history. They
only take the quotes that they only take the bits and pieces that they can twist and use for their purpose because towards
they don't realize that
his life,
a lot of the stuff that they quote was written in jail because they was tossing him in there for doing this very thing. Like FOH, man. Hey,
but you know what?
Because a lot of stuff has happened. We can't talk. It's so much stuff that we can't talk about all of them. I could just name a few more. There was an Alabama high school football announcer who said over the PA system, those not standing for the anthem should be shot. Like, hey, this is your country, ladies and gentlemen. But shout out to Russell Simmons because Broncos linebacker Brandon Marshall, whom everybody on Twitter, after he protested, they were mistaking him for Jets receiver Brandon Marshall. So Brandon Marshall of the Jets got a whole lot of hate mail and death threats over Twitter for no reason. But Russell Simmons offered Brandon Marshall a rush card endorsement because he was actually dropped by two of his endorsers because in the Thursday night NFL opener, he didn't stand for the national anthem. So shout out to Russell Simmons, man. Because
that's
not
what
only
we should have been doing.
Not only should black business owners who have the means step up at times like this to do things like this, but as people were saying last week, the companies that are dropping guys for doing stuff like this, those should be the companies that we don't patronize. We should be
boycotting. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Russell Simmons has not always fallen on what I would call the right side of history with his views in the struggle, but salute to him for standing up. Salute to him for standing up in this case and showing us and demonstrating what black economic power should look like in this country and putting your money where your mouth is, man. So salute to him.
But the one thing I do respect about Uncle Russ is that even when I disagree with models. I mean that too. But even when I disagree with one of his stances on a social level, he at least has a reason for it. Unlike some of these these coons.
All right, so that's what's up. So shout out to Rush and the Rush card. Funny thing, we always laughed at the Rush card, but
shout out to the people that need a Rush card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I'm about to be one of them. But that's what happened this week, everybody. While y'all were on the grind, Jim, who's having a birthday, man?
You already know, man. It's time to talk about birthdays. And the birthdays are brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Listen, here's the bottom line. Y'all got to stop using those Wix sites. Those joints are made for nothing but Myras and people that try to sell marijuana off social media. If you're not one of them too, stop using Wix sites.
With a Colorado P.O. box. You don't really live in Colorado.
Yo, a site from Digital Extreme Technologies, a custom site. Is definitely affordable. They support the War Room, so we support them. And how you get in contact is by going to digitalextremetech.com, or you can just give them a call, 272-205-4203. Tell them that you heard this ad on the War Room, and tell them that Jimmy said, I got to get off the Wix site because I do not sell my body, and I do not sell marijuana on social media. So, that's digitalextremetech.com, 267-205-4203. It's birthday time. The first birthday is the junior. Mike Dunleavy Jr. turns 36.
Mike
Dunleavy.
Y'all are old.
Still not. Unless I added that up wrong. Unless I added it up wrong. He old as...
Yo, you ain't think he was that old, huh?
Nah, I really didn't.
Why is he still a job?
Yeah, it's legit.
Yeah, and by the way, that is junior. In case y'all thinking I said senior, like, boy, that is junior. That's that old at this point. Anyway.
What did you say, B? You said why he's still in the league.
Yeah, I was more referring to the next guy than Dunleavy.
Okay. Oh, the
I was
next
like, Dunleavy
guy.
got game, man. He ain't no star.
The next guy, Jason Terry, a.k.a. the lookalike of this man. Jason
That beat
Terry,
bang. That was like pum pum pum.
Yo,
pum.
Jason Terry used to have game.
Yo, Jason Terry has been relevant since he performed with New Edition, but he's 39 years old. Funny thing about Jason Terry is some of his better years is in his older age.
No, they're not, Jimmy.
No, they really are. Like a couple of those years that he had in Dallas were some of his best years. They definitely were.
Yo, Jimmy,
Not the Hawks, Jason Terry.
he literally gets a check for one thing. Yo, go stand in the corner, right or left, and shoot when the ball comes to you. That's it.
Or go stand at the dotted and let LeBron jump over your head.
Ooh. No comment on that. But to be honest, to your point, there's always going to be a place in the league for people that just stand there and shoot. I mean, that's just what it is. It's been that way since the NBA started.
Shooters and defenders.
I agree with that.
Shooters and defenders
so
can have
more
long
than just that.
careers in the NBA.
Exactly.
Stacey
And-
Allman was
and-
truck juice. But
If you
yeah.
rebound at a high level, but you do nothing else, they'll still keep you around too.
Shout out to Bum Mark Biz Bombo.
Yo, shout out to people that find one aspect of the game and just get good at that. Like that should, if you got a kid that's not that good all around, just pick one thing and just stick to that.
Role
Anyway.
player.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Phife Dawg, but also Sherman Douglas turns 50.
Damn, Sherm!
Yo, Sherm the Worm.
Jim, if you collected basketball cards around the time that we were in school, then Sherm is just one of your dudes strictly because you had his card.
Yo, that's
Sherman
Douglas card. You know, some dudes, since they weren't stars,
I had
their
a
card was
Sherman
like in
Douglas
every
card,
pack
yo.
that you bought.
I had a Sherman Douglas basketball, a Fleer Sherman Douglas card.
Yo,
That's crazy.
wait,
Yo,
you
I
had
don't know why
you had a
that's so
Sherman
quick.
Douglas basketball?
Card.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, a basketball? Like, damn, Sherm had basketball? Yeah, I had like
anyway.
15 Sherman Douglas basketball cards. They was in every pack, right next to the piece of gum.
Yo, this next player is one of my favorite players of all time.
Of
Salute
all
to
time.
Ernest Biner, turns 54.
Fumbling
You know
ass.
what I'm saying? Some of y'all listen to this will get why he's my favorite player, but salute to him anyway.
Shout out to
That
Broncos fans everywhere.
To the God.
Because
about
Jimmy
that
Gault,
guy.
so Ernest Biner is definitely one of his sports heroes because he's a Broncos fan. If y'all still
All right,
don't
next-
get it, then y'all just stupid. So let's move on.
Yeah. Anyway, this next guy is Dev's guy, Dan Marino. Dev's old GOAT. I think Dev is
Yes,
not
sir.
really want to admit it, but I think Dev is leaning on Peyton being the GOAT now. But Dev's old guy, Dan Marino, is 55.
Yeah, I think I think you're right. But Dan, even with everything that's going on now, Dan Marino still is one of probably the most impressive quarterback that I've ever seen. Let Dan Marino play in this era here. Come on, man. He be throwing for like 6,000 yards.
Yo,
Dan
y'all
was
know where I
throwing
stand.
for high 4,000s back when like people was running 65%, 70% of the time.
Yo, y'all know where I stand in terms of the GOAT. I think the horse mouth dude is the GOAT, but there's one person approaching, man, and I don't know if I'll ever be able
He
to admit
played
it.
for the horse mouth so long, he started to look like the horse
Yo,
mouth.
there's one dude that's approaching him in my eyes, but I just don't want to admit it, yo. But yo, touchdown time, man. Like he's really, if he keeps playing, like at what point is he just gonna stink? Like But anyway, we'll get into the quarterback discussion later in the season.
I don't know. Every time Tom Brady sit out, though, man, the New England Patriots show you that Tom might just be a system generated.
Yeah, but it's a difference though. Like they compete when he's not there, but when he's there, they jump on top of teams. The Austin, no one's heard anything
Andy
you said in the last 10 minutes. So you probably
Tell.
cussing me out, but I don't know. So, but the
Yeah,
Bulls,
I don't
Brady,
know, man. Matt Castle, 11-5. Like it's really an anomaly for somebody not to make the playoffs at 11-5, and it's an even bigger anomaly for somebody in that division to have a record 11-5 or better to be able to beat them.
And I totally get that. But in the words of Rameek Mills, there's levels because when Brady's there, they damn near run the table. His numbers are through the roof. That was the same Matt Castle. Well, he got and Randy Moss, obviously, but it's just different, man. Like it's just different.
Brady, in
Anyway.
my opinion, throws one of the most beautiful deep balls that I've seen from any quarterback.
Who's that?
Tommy Brady.
Okay. I think the best deep ball, like in terms of the prettiest deep ball, is probably Mike Vick. It's just that I don't know, like it may not get to its target because it's not accurate.
Be on the wrong side of the field.
Yo, but just in terms of a pretty pass,
where's that going?
Tight spiral is going 80 yards. I don't know who it might hit, but it's definitely a
spiral into the third row on the side of the field. Like, come on, Mike.
You know, it could be worse. He could be John Franklin III. Anyway, with that being said,
he's a bum.
Yo, the last guy, and I wouldn't know those because
John Franklin III don't even throw the ball. But go ahead, my bad.
Yo, is Gaylord Perry, and I just remember as a kid always laughing at his name. But Gaylord Perry would have been 78. Salute to Gaylord Perry.
I thought Gaylord Perry was dead until I, looked at these birthdays earlier.
He not dead?
I swear to God, I started to write it down on our outline as a RIP shout out.
As a rest in peace.
Yo, Gaylord Perry.
Shout out to Gaylord Perry drinking the Noonie juice.
All right, man. Let's get out of here, man. Because I know Fred is waiting for us. And Fred, when we get to Fred late, he be trying to take up the rest of the time on the whole show. So let's get to that.
Chill, man. He got his own show now, man. He can chill with that.
He got like 3 shows. All right. So real quick, y'all can check out the website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, take your time, look around, click the Contact Us tab. This is very important. You can send us a message about the company, the show, or to inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities. This is the greatest time ever in the history of War Room Sports to contact us about sponsorship and advertising opportunities. So you better do that. The rates are great. We do a lot for you. Make sure you hit us up. If you want to do that by email, you can do it at info@warroomsports.com. While you're browsing the site, look around, buy some memorabilia, read some blogs, subscribe to our social media platforms. You can subscribe to our iTunes podcast. You can watch the webcast at War Room Sports TV, listen to the podcast network, and you can also download our free War Room Sports mobile app on iOS and Android to get everything I just mentioned on the go during the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show, blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. To enter the chat room, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't already have one or if you don't want one, just sign into your Facebook and Twitter accounts. It's that easy. And while you're there, click follow. That'll get you updates and reminders about the show. We'll be taking questions and reading posts from Facebook, Twitter, and the chat room during the show. But if you want to call in and speak with us, the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline will be open immediately following Fred Perdue's segment. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you already listen from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. Fred Perdue is brought to you as a part of our Hot Topics segment. Jimmy, whose Hot Topics brought to the good people by?
Man, you already know. Hot Topics. If you want to read, but you can't read, or you just don't have time to read, here's what you do. Visit audibletrial.com. That's audibletrial.com/warroomsports. And you can stay abreast on all the latest bestsellers. A lot of
so if you Floyd Mayweather.
A lot of books that you may have wanted to read, but you couldn't. That's what you do. audibletrial.com/warroomsports. There's a lot of amazing books. And the thing about this is, audiobooks are getting so big now that now books are basically becoming performances. I've been a member of Audible for literally years at this point, but now the newer books coming out, they have like multiple people. It's damn near like a movie that you're listening to. So make sure you check it out. audibletrial.com/warroomsports. If you go to that link, you'll get a free audiobook on us. And we'd like to thank Audible for their support of the War Room.
All righty. We got Fred Perdue on the line for his weekly college football segment. Fred, what is going on, my brother? How are you today?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Man, running good, Fred.
Man, I just got to say, Jimmy, and I know I had to put this out here. Thank you for the respect. Thank you. Thank you for finally putting some respect on Tom Brady's name. Thank you.
Hey, Fred, listen, man.
Tom Brady is overrated, dude.
No, I'm objective.
He also gonna have a lot of
objective.
seats, sir.
Game recognizes game. I don't like your team at all, and I can wish bad things on them, but at the same time, I'm very objective. I respect this game.
Okay. You ain't cheating. You ain't trying.
I knew that jab was coming. By the way, that Michael Vick comment.
That's not a jab. That's true.
That Michael Vick comment was spot on. Very spot on. You don't know where it's going.
I was about to say, I know Fred ain't about to defend him because I know doing
I'm
the
not, but it's
podcast,
a pretty deep
Fred
ball.
took a couple shots at Mike Vick as well.
It's a pretty deep ball. I don't know where it's going. It might end up in the 15th row, but it's a pretty deep ball.
Amazing, though.
You can get yourself a commercial off of it.
Fred, what I noticed about high school, what I noticed about like high school and college coaches, they love stuff like that because coaches are so arrogant, even in pros, where they see someone with those kind of abilities and they like, I could fix everything else. He has that kind of athletic talent. Just let me coach him up. Which is why guys like Mike Vick will get opportunities for the rest of his life.
Mike Vick. Mike Vick is damn near brain dead.
But but listen though, I'm gonna ask all three of you guys: has there been a more athletic quarterback to ever play the game that we've seen?
No.
Randall Cunningham.
You think Randall was more athletic than Mike Vick?
I think athleticism.
Randall
is more
jump
than
over
just
defenders.
speed.
Randall had that high.
No,
jump.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I think we equate Mike Vick's 40 time. I think Mike Vick is top 3. I think he's the second most athletic quarterback we've ever seen. But I still put Randall at number 1. Randall was blazingly fast, but not Mike Vick. Mike Vick could have quit football and went and ran track. I get that. But Randall had more than just speed, man. Randall was athletic than a mother.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that because I think Randall was more elusive. Mike Vick was just so fast, straight line speed. Like, I'm out. And, he might do a couple zigzags to get out the way, but Randall used
as like
to
a high school,
jump over
as a high school or college coach, if you saw both of them play, you probably, because Vick's so fast, right? It's just so fast.
Maybe RG3, but athleticism-wise, speed-wise,
Speed, he's
RG3
up there, but what did he do?
But he was more of a straight line guy. He was if you're wanting straight line, straight line speed. He's a track guy, But I kind of got to lean with B. Also, if you're talking overall athleticism, elusiveness,
I mean, it's in his bloodlines, man. His daughter was just at the Olympics high jumping. She had a terrible showing.
You know what it is? When you run that fast, you can't really have moves because you can't move that fast and have moves.
Yeah, that's true. Because if y'all remember a lot of Mike Vick's runs, like at some point in the run, he ended up like stumbling for a few steps trying to catch his balance because he was running so fast.
He was moving unconsciously.
And then as soon as you try to make a cut, like you got to get your balance back. I think Randall was a little more under control with his athleticism than the rest of these dudes. But no, Jim, I don't even know. Like, I think I have a whole different outlook on high school and college as far as quarterbacking goes anyway. I think on those levels, I don't think they give a damn. They don't care. They just see your skill set, and they think about winning games. I think it's the NFL coaches that say, I'll take a chance on him because I can change him.
No,
Some other dudes
I agree with you on that one.
I agree. John Franklin will get in the game for Auburn and never throw a pass because he's fast as hell.
On John Franklin. But listen, though, I've heard high school coaches say that. I coach him up. I mean, a lot of them are arrogant. Like, just give me any athlete. They don't care about, a lot of other things. They take athletes and they think they can coach them up.
But
then when they win games, they'll say that to you, and then they win some games or win a championship, and they'll look at you and say, "Told you I was going to coach him up." Like, no, you didn't coach anything. You just won because he's nice.
It comes from pure athleticism, and he's doing what he does instinctually, and you taught him how to throw the football a little bit better. I mean, I can lean on guys like Terrell Pryor all day long when it comes to the college game because they're just freaky.
Terrell Pryor about to be a Hall of Fame NFL wide receiver.
Yo,
he was killing my squad last week.
I mean, I can lean on guys like a Marcus Mariota, not the best I still don't know how he went number 2 overall, but when you really don't have to be the greatest passer in the world. You don't have to have it upstairs where you can check the safeties, check the protection, look back and do a check with me, have the rapport with the receiver where you don't have
Fred, and I'm gonna tell you something else. In our upcoming book, we're going to do a chapter on the black quarterback and how that the whole culture around that is a disservice because we are taught to play the position differently. And I'll give you two examples. Aaron Rodgers is a hell of an athlete. Don't nobody that watch football even know that unless you really, really watch or you remember the underwear. Aaron Rodgers don't run. He don't run.
Are you saying that we're not even given the opportunity to play the game another way?
Oh, right.
I agree.
No, I don't believe so. We're not coached up because when you see all of that athletic talent at the high school level and the college level, they don't coach them on mechanics. They don't coach them on strategy.
No, but what I'm saying is, I thought you were saying something else. I thought you were saying that they don't do that because they saw the same thing with Aaron Rodgers because he had the same level of athleticism. So why was he taught? All
not
that
so
stuff?
fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend.
Yeah,
you go back and look.
Because
you go back and watch those old tapes
licensed.
from Aaron Rodgers. He couldn't get recruited by a Division I school at all when he came out.
No. Follow what I'm saying, Fred. What I thought B. Austin was saying is, like, because of our pigment, we're not even given the opportunity to play any other way.
It's kind of that's kind of where I'm going. I'm not saying that it's overt or necessarily nefarious, but I think culturally, when coaches see us,
they automatically think go run, be a running quarterback.
Hold your opinion. I've got an opinion that's different from yours, but I'd rather save it for the book. So y'all go at each other. Anyway, let's talk about what he came to talk about, man. Cause we can
Jim, I didn't have a different opinion. I was saying what because boy using all them big words, so I'm gonna just take.
Oh yeah, he's talking about something being nefarious.
I
know a chick named Nefarious. She used to work at Fox Valley, but never mind.
Shout out to the Valley. All right, look, man. We done took Fred's whole damn segment. Let's real quick because this is happening on a wide scale. First, it was the NBA All-Star game. Then they announced that they were taking basically all championship games out of North Carolina because of the HB2 bill. They talked about like opening round games in the NCAA tournament, stuff like that. Of course, they ain't say nothing about the CIAA or the MEAC. They don't care about them jokes. But but now, Fred, I hear that the ACC's championship game is going to be moved from North Carolina due to this. Like, damn it, man! When the gay community wants to get something done, by God damn it, they get something done.
Somebody needs
shout out to them, yo.
Sounds like Colin Kaepernick might need to get a new ally, but I'm not going there. You can listen to the podcast for that one. With this one, man, it's plain and simple. Because you have this bill, and just like in other states where, like Atlanta, in Atlanta, Georgia, you have they were considering the same thing. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
We were having talks of possibly a Super Bowl not being even considered there, or an SEC championship not being there, and those are the SEC championship at least is a big money item when it comes to the college game. And
hey, Fred, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Are you on the SEC's payroll, man?
I wish.
I'm gonna ask you. I'm saying that because over this last year, you've been. I listen back to our old shows all the time because I think they're amazing works of art. But over the last year, you've become like so pro SEC that I'm starting to wonder, man. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
To be honest, I came to the light a little. I used to be that person that said the SEC. I used to slander the SEC a little bit.
I was about to say, didn't you think they were overrated at one point?
For a while,
He used to slander them, and now he's all pro SEC.
When you have a chance to really just hunker down and watch that film and get more involved.
You flip-flopping.
No, I won't say. I'm not going to say I flip-flopped. I came to the light, and I literally had a chance to. I had a little bit of a chance to get to know these SEC folks a little bit more. And I'm not going to say I'm riding for the SEC, but
Fred, I get you. People could say, look, man. Like my man Rocky said at the end of the Drago fight, man. If I can change and you can change, everybody can change.
Malone is a terrible actor. But anyway, go ahead, Fred. Finish your thought. I just had to bring that up because I've been listening to old shows. And I'm like, hold up. Fred is like Team SEC now, and before he was like, But go ahead though.
But no, the ACC they've decided to move that game out of North Carolina, out of Bank of America Field, and they're bringing it down to my neck of the woods, into Orlando, Florida. So that's going to be that might be an event I might have to frequent, especially if there's a.
So basically, this state of all of its income, all of its revenue, all of its sports revenue, until they get what they want for the LGBT community.
They want to allow men who look like women to go in women's bathrooms with kids. You can basically kill black men who make up a large percentage of these athletes, but there's no real protest. There's really no protest. There's no movement of games and
there's a protest. They're just letting us do it and telling us to keep that ish to ourselves.
Basically,
keep it to us. But you let one company, person, whoever say that you don't have the right to put your pecker up and behind and celebrate it. And they will move everything. Now, man, listen, salute to LGBTQ because y'all power is unprecedented, man.
See, the thing is, and I have a nice little theory about all of this. See, when you have the black movement, that's strictly the black movement. Whereas the LGBT movement, you may have white, black, Mexican, Asian, whoever. You have and you have people with some money, and there's some more.
Black people ain't got no money.
No, we do have money. We do have money, but there's some influence there, and they don't just take the what up. So
don't get it twisted, Fred. Don't think for a minute that it's the black gay people that's moving the needle on these issues.
Oh, of course it's not. It's
because
not.
If it was just them, then they'd have no power, just like
exactly.
we do.
Oh, of course. But in this situation, I mean, you have to. At this point, you've moved the NBA All-Star Game. You've moved out the ACC Championship. Heck, we might at this point are the Carolina Panthers next because
probably.
What else can we do? What else are they not willing to do? I mean are North Carolina games going to be played in another state?
They might move the Panthers. I mean, but who am I to say they should move the Panthers, or who am I to say they shouldn't move the Panthers? Some of y'all get
that. All right, hey Fred, man, give us a few players to watch, man, in college football right now.
Well, I'll start out with this one. Adoree Jackson, defensive back, wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner for USC. He's got to have a big game.
What? Oh, you said defensive back wide receiver. I thought this boy said defensive end wide receiver. I'm like,
defensive back, wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner. He does it all. He's really he's a jack of all trades, and he hasn't really had the best season so far. He's been a decent cover corner, but he hasn't really shocked anyone with his kick return ability, his ability to turn a pick into a score the other way for a 6. So I think he's going to have a big game there. Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine, Oklahoma running backs, both of them. I'm just going to put them into one here. They had 70 yards rushing against Houston of all teams. They have to pick it up against Ohio State, who has 3 returning starters from last year's team, who put 6 guys in the NFL last year. If they're not able to run the football against Ohio State, and you expect Baker Mayfield to put it all on his shoulders, I really can't tell you how Oklahoma's really going to avoid being 1-2. That's just the way it is.
According to Oklahoma's backup quarterback, he said Baker Mayfield is going to light Ohio State's defense up. So,
well, you know how I feel about quarterbacks that light it up, but
oh yeah, light it up. All right, and last but not least, man, we got ourselves a Thursday night game, Houston versus Cincy. What's your thoughts on this one? Pick a winner.
This one I can pick a winner for because I don't.
Yeah, because there's actually a pick show for Quick Slants that will be on the network this evening. And Fred kind of, since he's in this contest, this pick'em contest, this dude will talk everything about the game, but won't make a pick at the end of the joint because he don't want anybody to steal it.
As if we can't infer who he's picking.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can kind of get it. I actually let it slip in one of them, but I'm not going to tell you which one. You'll have to go listen to the show. But we have Houston against Cincinnati. Both teams, by the way, looking to go to the Big 12, so maybe this is an audition. Greg Ward Jr. cleared to play in this game after a week off after some shoulder problems here. Hayden Moore for Cincinnati. Really good quarterback, backed up by Gunnar Kiel, the former Notre Dame prospect, transfer, head case, whatever you want to call him. I think Houston has this one. Ed Oliver on defense, former 5-star recruit, defensive lineman. He has NFL written all over him. Catalan at running back, as well as Greg Ward. He's going to be able to move the ball around. They don't necessarily run him a lot. He's different from every one of these other former converted receivers running these spread offenses. He likes to throw the ball a bit, and despite his size, he has a big arm, and I think he's going to be able to push the ball down the field a little bit to make Cincinnati stress that defense out a little bit. By the way, Tommy Tuberville, still wondering how he has a job.
No doubt. All right, so everybody make sure you go to the War Room Sports Podcast Network and look for Quick Slants. There will be one on the site tonight. There will be another one on the site tomorrow morning. Check out Quick Slants, the blog, and all the other work that Fred and his partners are doing at warroomsports.com. You can also check out the Eye on Sports podcast. What's up, Jim?
I want to ask Fred a question before he leaves. Fred, what do you think Nicholls State's going to do this weekend? That's my new squad.
Nicholls State, man. Look.
I mean, they played well this past week. They gave Georgia a game, man.
Georgia has
Capital Classic, man. Howard versus Hampton, man. Who's going to win that this weekend?
You guys know I don't deal with FCS. I just.
Yo, but Nicholls State gave Nicholls State played well this past week.
I'm not gonna be like. I'm not gonna pull a Dabo Swinney and say something I'm not supposed to. So I'm gonna say no comment.
Yo, all I know is Nicholls State gave Georgia a game. My man Ronald Ollie was out there balling. And,
Ronald Ollie is a beast.
But Nicholls State, y'all got a quarterback who got locks that's like down to his back, and I've never seen a quarterback prosper with locks that long. So, and that's not even a racial comment. I just never seen it, man. Like, so I don't know how they gonna prosper. Nicholls State, man.
I thought that was Al Harris out there at quarterback, man. I'm just. Let's take it really. Let's take it back a little bit.
I'm like, yo, but anyway though, Nicholls State, man, Ronald Ollie is a beast, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he'll lose interest at some point though and quit. But shout out to him anyway, man. That's my dude. All right, so like I was saying, make sure y'all follow Fred at F Purdue Sports. Get your picks in for the college pick'em. Beat him. Talk trash
to him. You guys still have a chance. They still got a chance still. They got a chance still. I'm in third right now. I started off a little bit slow.
I forgot to pick last week, but I'll catch up. All right, Fred, we will rap to you next week, man. We appreciate it.
All
right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Take it easy.
All right.
Keep that respect up for Brady,
man.
Take that respect off his name. All right, man. I don't even. Some of these, I think we should just go ahead and move on. Did y'all have any bars for Dabo? Did y'all want to talk about Dabo Swinney and his comments?
I had so many bars for Dabo until I read that article about a professor.
Yeah, because it's like he's been checked. You already
on the root.com. Like he 3-0 body bagged him, and it's like really nothing left for me to say other than like I don't know what these guys just like. They don't care because. What if his team decides to stop playing? What if all of them?
It's called privilege and entitlement. And the best thing that should happen, the best outcome would be his players of a certain ethnicity. Well, really, all of his players recognizing the human side of this, refusing to play for him. But we know that.
Great point.
You don't have to refuse to play. You can go out there and kneel for the what's the name and dare him to even look at you wrong. And I mean, like, come on, dude. This is their right. Yeah. So.
Yo.
Jimmy's right though. Like, and we discussed it earlier. Like, you know, some people getting checked, and Dabo definitely got checked by a professor at the university that he coaches at. So it's like it's not a lot left for us to say.
And shout out to Tobias who brought up in our. He wanted to send a shout out to Shannon Sharp for getting this new show and start checking people. So I saw that.
I didn't know
Shannon had all this
making me proud. Man, Shannon's been making me proud. Now he might sound like Deputy Dog. He might sound like Opportunity but when you slow it down and listen to what he's saying, man, yo, I'm so proud of that dude, man.
He said, slow it down.
Yeah. I'm back to claiming him as a Bronco. Like,
and is it me or does Shannon Sharp's top row these days look like dentures?
Yeah, he definitely had that workout. Shannon empathizes and he relates with the struggle and slavery. I mean, he still sounds like a slave when he talks, but shout out to him, man. Like, you know, he just definitely doing his thing on his new show. I want to see what this is going to do.
So Jimmy, what you're essentially saying is that Shannon said, "Massa, I ain't picking no more cotton for you.
I'm not commenting on you. You are out of pocket tonight. I'm not saying anything about what you
ain't doing it.
I've yet to actually watch the show, but I see clip after clip of Shannon Sharp every day, like getting it in with everybody. Even, you know, he even like low key checked Lil Wayne when Lil Wayne went on there on his Cam Newton joint. Like, you know, I've never seen racism, so it don't exist. FOH, Lil Wayne, you're a little black
Lil Wayne
from New Orleans
y'all don't know
who gets arrested on every tour bus. What do you think that is from? That is from racism, dumbass.
Lil Wayne been a coon since about 2004, 2006. Since the
I don't even know if he's a coon, right? Because when I think about a coon, I think about someone who understands their actions and what they do. I just don't think he's that smart. Like, he's so dumb. I think he's too dumb to be a coon.
Nah, you know what? Because if you listen to that actual thing, they talked about the fact that, you know, at his shows, the majority of faces are white. They talked about the fact that, you know, white people buy a lot of hip hop. He knows. He didn't want to upset his money base. He knows.
No, but I still think he's dumb as a bucket of mud.
This dude get arrested on every tour bus he's ever gotten on.
No, but he's also dumb.
We also live in a time where hip hop on certain edges, because it's such a fluid type of culture. Lil Wayne is still respected in the black community. I don't know for how much longer with that cone talking, but he's still respected. But if you watch him, he's on that skateboard stuff pretty tough.
And we know that
kind of relates.
Yeah,
that too.
But Jim, if he doesn't know, because I can even go down to here. If he doesn't know, somebody told him before he got on there because they knew they were going to ask him about the whole thing.
I would more likely go with that just because I
his handlers was like, "Yo, do not diss anybody. Right. Don't go on here talking about racism because, you know, 80% of the people who buy your albums and go to your concerts have white faces." Somebody briefed him before he took that interview.
It's so funny though, because you see these people and they always talk about how Muhammad Ali is their hero, but they don't even get it. Like Ali literally said, Ali said I could move into the suburbs and be treated well and never have to worry about anything else. But if my people struggle, who cares? Right. I'd rather be with my people.
Ali is a hero.
No doubt.
In so many ways, cuz.
Absolutely no bars for this guy, because we've exhausted too many bars on this dude in the past. But Jason Whitlock basically said that Colin Kaepernick's stance is merely a fad, like the dab. So I guess I don't have bars for him. We're just going.
Coon Train is coming. Coon Train is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Coon Train is coming.
Because you know he said
where
that.
The white women at?
You know he said that during the interview. Brought up Chicago. Come on, dude.
Yo, I know we've given dude a lot of bars, but I think that y'all will appreciate this. To our listeners, there's so much that you can learn from the Matrix movie trilogy. And I forget which movie it is specifically, but there was the one where the guy was unplugged from the Matrix and he has dinner with an agent and he says, "Plug me back in." man, let me live my life in completely under the blanket. I don't want to know. That to me is a Jason Whitlock type of dude. He has no interest in fighting for the people because his life is good. And as you said earlier, Des, he can't relate. So yeah, dude is even beyond
the complete opposite of Ali, or the complete opposite of Kaepernick at this point, because you know. But anyway, I have nothing to say about that dude, man. Like, sometimes he comes across to me as like just wanting to be a contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian, and also
it's contrived. It's definitely contrived. Just a
troll, overall troll.
Last thing about this, man, before we take some calls and get into some hardcore sports talk, because I know, like I said, people are probably tired of these situations and issues.
Our show is an echo chamber now, man.
This is what's going on. Like, I mean, you know, people agree with us when we always say that sports is a microcosm of real life, but then when we start talking about the actual stuff that's mirroring real life, then nobody wants to hear about it. But what were you guys' thought on the Seattle Seahawks, quote-unquote, show of unity prior to their game when they all stood and locked arms during the national anthem?
They did something that they know that their former leader wouldn't have allowed. And if Marshawn Lynch were in that locker room, we know it wouldn't have gone down like that. They sold out. They sold out for the masses. They didn't want to offend their fan base. They didn't want to put themselves in a position, you know, having Russell Wilson already step up and say what he said about, you know, supporting everything righteous and white and right. So they, you know, I think that there were some heads within that locker room that wanted to take a knee. I think there were some heads that wanted to put their fists up. But I think that they got a talking to, and they succumbed to that talking to. So
yeah, because there was a whole lot of talk prior to the day of the game, like, yeah, we're gonna do something as a team, and then the stance softened, and they ended up, you know, being out there holding hands and stuff like that. Like, come on, Doug Baldwin went from like militant to House Negro in less than 24 hours. Come on,
he went from James Baldwin to Baldwin Hills. But listen though, yo, all I know is that was like one big all lives matter statement. That's all that was. Cowards. I think they're a bunch of cowards and a bunch of punks. And you know, like, what's the point of you even making a statement? We're gonna do something, like, you know, either do it or don't. You know what I'm saying? But I got somewhere to be. Shout out to Marlo. That's a wire quote. But anyway, I think there was one big all lives matter statement. I didn't like it at all. It was like, you know, what's the point? You're trying to show unity, but we're talking about justice. We're not talking about unity right now. So two different conversations. And it's like, with everything
that's a great point, Jimmy. That's a great point. You're talking about unity
that's
because they're not unifying. They're not unifying.
The last thing I want to say is that the whole thing with Kaepernick is no one is talking about the issues that he's raising and speaking of so eloquently outside of just sitting on his knee. They're making it about something else. Now, they're trying to make this about unity? Huh?
Right. I bet you they couldn't unify them dudes to all kneel. And that's probably what they were trying to do when he was out there talking that madness, and then they all ended up holding hands. Anyway, man, let's go to the phone lines. We got the homie Tobias calling from Arizona. Tobias, roll damn tide. Uh-oh, where you at?
Tobias, let me find out all the trash he talking now.
Uh-oh.
Going once.
Maybe they done got it. Maybe they gave him the Tariq Nasheed treatment.
Going twice.
Hey, Tobias, man.
All right. See, we got the homie Corey on the lines. Let's go over to Philly.
What's going on?
Kent, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Aki?
Kent, what's good?
I'm chilling, listening to the War Room, just, falling back. I'm trying not to, raise my ire up against some of these. You played the Coon Train song. That did enough for me, because I'm ready to snap like a twig on some of these dudes, man. Like,
that's how we felt, man. Kind of like, man, this dude Whitlock. If we keep talking about everything he says, man, every show just gonna be about Whitlock. So we're just gonna play his favorite song.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about sports, man, because these dudes, like, you gotta let them die the death they want to die, man. Like, they dead to me. Like,
quick question for you, then, Corey. Did you see Allen Iverson's Hall of Fame speech? What you think about that?
Man, I like Al, but he came in the suit like that.
Yeah, he conformed a little bit. I noticed that.
I'm good on Al. Like, I mean, to be honest, I love the player, but anything else about him, I really ain't get down with. I really ain't. I'm not a Greek. I'm not a big Allen Iverson fan. So I mean, like, you know, like I said, yeah, go see him, but I'm not a big Al fan. I mean, he a douche. To be completely honest.
Damn. Oh.
He said he a douche.
You know what though, Corey? When you say he's a douche, elaborate, brother. Speak on it, man.
I mean, like, every time I came into contact with him, with him, I seen him treating people like kind of shabby. Like, so, like, you know, I seen him at clubs, you know, at the what's the joint on City Line Avenue? With a club Fridays where everybody go.
Actually, Corey, I got into it with him over a parking spot at Fridays.
Yeah, listen, man.
His bodyguard got out the car. I was like, cool, y'all got it.
John, man, like, so after that, I was done with him. He ran up a $3,000 tab in Fridays and walked out and ain't pay it with a pocket full of money. Like, ain't tip nobody. Like, that was, I'm good. Like, after that, like, go play ball.
That's the kind of stuff I don't want to know about my sports heroes. I don't care. Like, I'm
just saying, I seen it with my own two eyes. So, I'm
saying that's the stuff that you hope in life. Like, when you like somebody, an entertainer or an athlete, that's the kind of stuff. Sometimes you hope you
don't want to find out about their character.
You don't want to find out.
You don't want to learn about their character.
You know what's crazy, Corey, real quick, is that I ran into him and had you know, the occasion to meet him several times, and I've had like the complete opposite experience, which is crazy. But that's the thing about being in the limelight. Like, sometimes people have good days and bad days, but you never know that one day you can meet someone and people don't forget that. So that's part of being a celebrity. But I had the opposite experience. Like, when I saw him, he was cool, chill, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for me, the 4 times I've actually talked to him and had what you could call a mini conversation, 3 out of those 4 times it was positive. The only time it wasn't was the whole parking space thing.
Yeah, I remember me and PJ was chopping it up with him one time because the bull was like, you know, in the hood, and he was driving like a minivan. I'm like, what is AI doing driving a minivan? But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
Who knows what he was doing? But like, he seemed to be very, at the time, he seemed to be very humble, chopped it up, you know, talk about a lot of different things.
I personally, on his game, you know, when he out there, 1,000%, he out there, he balling. But, like, you know, as far as, you know, my man for me, he got character issues, man. I can't tell him, man.
Can't. I done ran up a few tabs and walked out on him, so, you know, we still cool. I mean,
don't do that around me, man, because
you still love me.
You know, they get paid.
Still love me, man.
They all fits, man.
Yeah, that's
true. I shouldn't have done that.
The thoughts and words of B. Austin are the thoughts and words of B. Austin and not the rest of the War Room Singers.
But back to us, man. Yo, my Eagles look okay, man. I'm surprised that Carson Wentz.
We'll rap about it.
What do
you think about it?
I ain't gonna lie. Even against Cleveland, I thought he was gonna get out there and throw 5 interceptions. So I'm surprised that he ain't go out there and think.
Yo, Ron Jaworski said that. See, and this is where people start taking stuff overboard. But Ron Jaworski said this is the greatest opening game performance for a rookie that he's ever seen. And this dude watches all kinds of films.
Ron Jaworski slept in a tub full of hyperbole. Like, something wrong with him.
Because remember, Colin Kaepernick could be one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the league because of his.
Has anybody asked him about Kaepernick now?
He washed up in hyperbole this morning. He took a shower in it. Like, something wrong with this dude. It was a good performance.
I respected Jaws until that Kaepernick comment.
Nobody gets to film like Jaws. But he said some stuff sometimes.
Yeah, like, come on, he was overdoing that, man. You know who surprised me, though, like, watching all them games? Because, you know, I got my football junkie on over the weekend. Washington surprised me, and they stink. Like, I thought they was going to be better than that. Like,
I live here. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Like, I thought they was going to lose, but I didn't think that. I thought Kurt was better than that. Like, I thought he was a better than average quarterback. I'm not saying I thought he was Tom Brady or nothing, but I'm thinking, like, you know, he good enough to put a couple touchdowns on the board. He got me down, man. Like, I wanted to see them put up a fight. Like,
Kirk, let me tell you what Kirk Cousins is, Cam.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say Kirk Cousins is the type of dude, he won't, if you have the talent surrounding him, he will fit into that system and you can do well with him. If he doesn't have the talent surrounding him, he is not going to be the reason that your team is elevated. You can't depend on him as if he's an elite guy, and I don't think Washington has the talent around him.
No, listen, I think
he has the
did
talent in the passing game, but Matt Jones is a bum right now. Even in the running game.
Got the most talented receiver core as a core in the league. Who got a better, more talented receiver core than Washington? They got
that's what I'm saying. Like, he has the talent around him in the passing game, but they can't run the ball. Matt Jones is some trash right now. So
he can't run the ball.
Situation at all, because that's the identity that they want. According to the coach, when I hear him talk, like he claims that their bread and butter, at least he wants their bread and butter to be the running game. And I don't think they addressed that position enough in the offseason. I don't know why they put all their eggs in
He wants that to be their bread and butter. They should go beg Alfred Morris to come on back. Like,
oh yeah, he coming back.
Dude,
he coming back this Sunday. He probably looking for
as a Cowboy to come trample on their head. I don't even like the Cowboys, but that's gonna get ugly if they don't put it together. But
exactly.
Yeah, and back to basketball. For y'all talking that Allen Iverson had more of an impact than Dr. J stuff. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, he been stewing on that for a week. And don't say y'all. I ain't had nothing to do with that.
I'm saying that. Whoever. No, let me stop.
I did say it. I stand by that.
Jimmy, I got your back.
Stand for your conviction. But I'm gonna tell you like this, man. If you put a league on your back and you take it from where they was ready to shut the NBA, he was ready to put the NBA out of business. Dr. J was a one-man barnstorming. Like, he saved the whole league.
No, not by himself. Not by himself, because it was Dr. J, Magic, and Bird as well.
Listen. From the time Doc got to the league in '76 to the time that Bird got there, for 4 years, he was the draw. They had to merge the two leagues so that they can get Doc into the NBA, because the NBA was about to crumble. He is the reason that the NBA still exists.
It's that all that. Now, you talk about hyperbole. That's one of those things that's been talked about. But if you read Dr. J's book, he breaks it down. It's not that simple. There was more to it than that. But I'm not even going to get into that. What I'm saying is AI is a global icon. Allen Iverson is an icon in sports.
Jimmy, I was just about to say, at the height of Dr. J's career, there are places in the world that you could go that they wouldn't know who Dr. J is. They know who Allen Iverson is in Iran, and they can't even catch the NBA on TV.
Let me make a point about that.
Because Dr. J had an internet. Because
let me make a point on that, because can we kind of grade this? Like, can this be like weighted averages? Because I don't think that was even possible back in the Dr. J days. You know what I mean?
No, it was because Muhammad Ali did it. Muhammad Ali was a global icon in the 70s.
Well, Muhammad Ali traveled to other parts of the world. Doc played in the league. They didn't really do that back then. So that's kind of different. Muhammad Ali played
go global to 92.
A sport where it was an individual sport, and he didn't play every other night. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of different. And I don't know if you can compare him to Muhammad Ali.
But what I'm saying is AI is an icon. Forget the global impact. AI is an icon outside of his sport. Like, AI transforms sports in general. From a cultural standpoint, AI transforms sports in general. Like, the way
AI is a hip hop. AI is a hip hop icon, and he don't even rap. Like he's a hip hop icon. So that's
he tried his hand at that bull crap.
Like Marshawn Lynch is a son of AI, and they're not even in the same sport.
Whatever, man. I'm not. I don't see it like that.
If you don't like, I think him and Corey had it over a chick or something, man.
What happened?
Quite possible.
I think you and him must have had beef over a chick or something. Did y'all get in the shootout or something, man? I think Corey let off some shots at AI before, man.
No, man. It's not even that. I'm not saying that he's not a global icon because he shaped the way the NBA look right now. Everybody tatted in cornrows because of AI. Because ain't nobody had no tats and cornrows in the league before AI. Everybody was out there. Their arms looked like they was bare.
All this behavior and stuff you see on social media, and the funny thing is, everything I'm saying is not positive, but it's a fact. The fact of the matter is, people carry themselves different post AI. Like a lot of these dudes just fell into the norm, and so they were company men.
Like for me, I don't necessarily know where I stand in this debate. That's why I'm just playing mediator. I'm just making sure y'all keeping it fair though, because some of this stuff just wasn't possible. So that's why I think you gotta average it out on a weighted scale.
You're in a time where the only thing you got is TV and radio, and you got one draw. The NBA was in a flat line, like they was laying in bed. They had to be resuscitated. And you had
but that's not all his fault but that's not all his bringing back either, because in 79 and 80 when Magic and them came in, the league still needed to be saved, which is why Magic and Bird have a part of saving it, probably even more so than Dr. J. When Magic played in the finals in 1980, the game wasn't even televised. And that's 4 years.
I know. It was going to take delay. I thought it like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was a young boy. I was 5 years old. I know.
My point is, how can you give Dr. J that credit when Magic and Bird were the ones that got it in prime time?
Because the league was about to fold. They wouldn't have been the Bird number probably wouldn't even got a chance to do all that if Doc wasn't there to keep the league rolling.
The league wasn't that close to folding from a financial standpoint. They were. I mean, the franchises were selling at the time. When the ABA came to the NBA, those franchises
said the ABA had better talent.
Yeah, but my point is, you can't get
I'm talking about along
with
the ABA had more flashy players that they wanted in the league.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, but even back then, people have to say this whole thing about the ABA, but the ABA is the one that got merged into the NBA. It's not the other way around. The ABA had flashy players, but they were fiscally irresponsible. So it's not as simple as
the whole ABA was on coke. That's what happened. The whole ABA was on coke. That's basically what happened.
It's like the ABA had the players, the NBA had the structure. And
the whole ABA was on coke.
No, but that's not even true, because most of the great players, even at that time, still were in the NBA. They just didn't have the flash and the pizzazz of the ABA. Doc was literally the outlier back then. Back then, even when those guys that were
Doc
good in the
ABA. Doc the ball to the game. He brought the ball. Everybody else was playing. You had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar laying it up, and you had Wilt Chamberlain, Big T. Buzz laying the ball up, and you had Jay West out there shooting jump shots, but it didn't matter because Doc brought the ball.
But listen to what I'm saying. I'm hearing everything you're saying. But this what I'm giving you is from reading Doc's book. These are Doc's own words. Even when he came into the league, and him being in the league for 4 years, it wasn't until Larry and Magic, and part of that, to be honest with you, it wasn't even the fact that, Magic was that nice or Larry was that nice. It was the marketing. You had East versus West, black versus white. So you had a lot of things that contributed to the league getting into prime time. So it's not as simple as you're saying Doc saved the league or Doc they were in. I mean, after Doc they weren't in prime time. The league was take the lead.
Yeah, they was take the lead to like 82.
But that's my point. Doc was in the league in 76. Anyway, to make a long story short, man, Doc did not just save the league by himself. Doc isn't Superman. It was a lot of people that helped save the league on the business side as well as on the court. And my point about AI is AI is a global icon. AI changed sports.
We gonna have this argument in person, Joe, because we gotta have this in person.
I think what Jimmy is saying is AI came along in a time where he became, as a personality, even bigger than the sport. He just happened to be one of those guys that wasn't consciously trying to be like players nowadays. Certain players that will remain nameless, they're conscious of being bigger than the game. That's their goal. They want to be bigger than the game. AI unconsciously, because of how he carried himself, and the culture he was associated with became larger than basketball. So it's not even just about him being – we're not arguing who was the better player, but, he took that step globally.
No, he didn't take the sport global. The sport went global with the 92 Dream Team. Like, that's really what kicked off. Like, AI couldn't be as big as he was without the 92 Dream Team.
But we're not saying that. We're saying, regardless of why, AI is a bigger global icon than Dr. J. Bottom line. Forget why. The fact is, AI is a bigger global icon than Dr. J. He is. He just is. Both of them retired. Neither one of them playing. AI is a bigger global icon.
Because Doc played 40 years ago.
Okay.
I was about to say, like, Dwight Howard is a bigger global icon than Dr. J. I ain't really talking.
Okay. I don't even know about that. I don't even know about that, Dev. But also, we were talking about impact anyway. AI's impact to me is bigger than Dr. J's because it's outside of basketball. It goes beyond his sport. AI was literally bigger than his game. Paul. Anyway,
and my argument would be that Dr. J saved the game so that he could be bigger than the game.
But he didn't save the game. I just gave you facts of why he didn't save the game.
I'm telling you, there wouldn't have been no game. Like, they had to merge the leagues, and he was the headliner.
But they didn't just merge the leagues for Dr. J. They didn't just merge the leagues for Dr. J. It wasn't like they merged the entire league for one player. That's not why it happened. It's not why it happened. That's not why it happened. And Dr. J didn't save the league. As a matter of fact, the attendance only increased a small percentage from when he joined. I'm telling you, these are Dr. J's words, but we'll take this offline. We'll have this conversation offline. Tobias call back in.
We'll do a court vision, Camp, and you can come on court vision, and we'll battle it out. We'll
I'm
hash it out.
like this.
I'm all into that.
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird have more to do with saving the NBA than Dr. J does, and it's not even debatable. Anyway,
that's true.
With all that,
he says it's not even debatable.
No, it's not. It's not. Magic and Bird are the reason we have $1 million contracts. We have TV deals. We have sneaker deals. That happened. Dr. J is a great player. He's one of the greatest players ever, even though he only had one hand. And I'm a huge Dr. J fan. But the fact of the matter is, some of that stuff is hyperbole in itself.
We'll hack that out.
Dr. J could have gotten an accident and lost his left arm and still been in Hall of Fame.
Listen, man, people came out to see that book, man. The dunk contest is a Dr. J. You know what I'm saying? Like but
even if you want to go there, even his dunks was overrated. Plus Teddy Pendergrass was. Let's talk about what Teddy was doing to his woman, and Dr. J ain't grabbing the like AI did. And go about that.
Teddy was giving his wife the business.
But when AI wife got along, what AI do? When dude was, AI grabbed that thing. All right, man. Thanks for your call.
I came with that trouble. He came with the trouble when boy had his girl hemmed up. But it's all, that's a whole different set of circumstances.
We're going to talk offline, champ. All right, take it easy.
Y'all be good.
All right, champ. Yep.
Y'all crazy, man.
Yo, those are facts, though. Yo, Tobias hit me up and said he called back in. He said the feds had knocked him off the first time.
True. I believe it.
Let's see. Hey, yo, Tobias.
That'll be the last one we take.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
What up, Tobias?
Yeah, we got you.
All right, roll tide. All right, Grandpa, that was taking up all our time arguing about Dr. J. No one talks about Dr. J. They talk about Kareem.
No, Dr. J slander. No Dr. J slander, man.
You can't Doc, man.
Hey, I ain't talking about Doc like that, but he was great. But we gotta be honest here. But anyway, before I get going on my football, I know y'all talking about the 11-year-old boy kneeling for the anthem, getting death threats. Remember, this is the same country that never did condemn the 14-year-old George Stanley being the youngest person ever electrocuted in electric chair, and for a crime he never committed. Emmett Till, I keep going. 12-year-old Tamir Rice was killed on camera. The cop pretty much got some free vacation, and white people were cheering that in the Coons also. 7-year-old Ayanna Jones. Cop kicked down the wrong door of the house, started shooting. She dead. They got nothing. So why am I'm not surprised by that. But we talk about football. First things first. My guy Jameis Winston. I've been telling people that he's going to show out. I'm telling people he's going to put on the show. But what do I hear about all week? Captain check down Dak Prescott. What's the other guy named Carson Wentz, who Bomani Jones said he went against the Ghost Man. You know, and who's and like these guys who are non-factors. And I ain't heard nothing for the Marcus Mariota people either.
But here's my point to what you're saying, right? You say that, you know, your guy Jameis did his thing, but they're talking about everybody else. So what do you continuously do? You go talk about why they're talking about everybody else instead of just talking about Jameis. Why even bring them other dudes up? Just talk about what Jameis did.
Hey, don't worry. Even though I'm trying to buy a Buccaneers hat going to the game this weekend, I'm sitting down anyway. I've been doing that ever since I got out the military. Man, you being in the military, it's too hot to be standing out there to Pledge of Allegiance in the Star Spangled Banner. But it be hot out there, man. But the thing is that the one thing I liked about Jameis, and I also haven't heard from the one to take the Mariota first crowd either. Haven't heard from them lately, cause he's probably the captain check down also. But the thing is that
Tobias, you kind of talking like we in week 6, and I'm a Jameis fan. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just telling you, like you kind of sound like we. It was one game, man. But I'm on the Jameis train. I want to let you know that I'm on the Jameis train.
Hey, I'm on the Jameis train too.
But it's like you know, the train got to slow down and go to the stops first, man. It's been one game.
Hey.
He's like I was telling people lately, like,
last year.
Week 3, week 4, week 5. Yo, that was the first game.
Don't worry. I'll be talking next week after he embarrasses a honey badger. But anyway, back to college football here. Like I told you guys, when y'all want to talk about Alabama, don't talk to Fred. Talk to me. I tell you what's going on here.
And to Jameis's credit, I know a whole lot about Jameis being nice because his best career game so far is against my squad. So.
And you know one thing I said about Jameis real quick. You know, it's like everybody trying to make like Manziel personality-wise. Yeah, he got caught up, got in trouble a little bit. But have you heard a peep out of him since he got in the league?
No. He's a sharp dude. And to be honest, Tobias, you know, I know you're talking to our listeners and not us. All three of us are on the Jameis Winston train. He's what I have been waiting for. Like everybody celebrates all these other black quarterbacks that can't read defenses and can't see pre-snap. Jameis Winston is what I've been praying for, and the Lord has answered. So we know Jameis
can't see pre-snap either without his contacts. As long as he keeps his contacts in, he's nice.
Tobias, man, I mean, I even gave him a nickname in here, called him the Holy Ghost, but you don't hear that. It's funny, right, when people just have this thing when they like a player, they want to like go off on people that don't like them, but I don't know who you're going off on. I never really heard anybody say anything.
I want to talk about you.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about, I don't know, I've never heard anybody outside, like, outside of us. So you be going in, but who are you talking to? Like, who hates on him? I don't see anybody hate on him.
Most of these ESPN personalities who want to keep ranking these bums, thinking these bums are basically long to realize someone who has it. But here's the thing. The reason I like him so much is that pretty much with the same players that finished 2-14, shout out to Lovey for taking that last game. Shout out to Lovey. He changed the culture and like has how he is as a person. And I always respect that for that most important position. But let me talk about Alabama real quick. Yeah, I know Ole Miss beat Alabama 2 years in a row. Alabama's covering that 10-point spread. Alabama's gonna beat Ole Miss like they beat USC. Gonna reevaluate the program. They beating Ole Miss. I know Chad Kelly be throwing it up in the air, and the ball won't bounce off the Alabama defender helmet until the hand the Ole Miss guy this year. It ain't happening. Archie Manning is gonna put his head in his hands this weekend, and that Confederate soldier mascot they got is gonna probably be hiding out somewhere too. Alabama's gonna roll. But I also gonna say this to Fred. Miami's losing to Appalachian State this weekend. Hate to break it on Freddie. Those inbreds for Appalachia's gonna beat the U. They're gonna call themselves PU after this weekend. Hey, being honest with you guys.
I hear you.
But I know you guys got to go. I want to say thanks for taking my call.
We appreciate the call.
And I'll say this real quick. White people, we're not when this whole Kaepernick stuff, we're really not even worried about you guys. We're seeing who the black people are, who are on the team and who aren't. That's what we're seeing.
Reading them out?
Because we expect the white folks to say what they're going to say. But look at how many black folks. It is all this, well, I'm good mentality. Once they get done with you, then they're going to start saying, well, I'm black. What about you? No, you don't want to be with us then.
Shout out to OJ.
If you don't want to be with us then, OJ. Whitlock got fired from the next.
Shout to Cosby. Same thing.
Shout to Cosby.
Shout out to
and
OJ
I'll say this real quick.
African garb at a black church. After he got off.
And shout out to Michael Jordan when those Jordan sales start going down. But I'll say this real quick.
Shout out to
United Negro College Fund now.
Hey, I'll say this real quick, and I know y'all got to go. But I got to shout out Devin on this one, talking about when Whitlock got fired from the website they made for him. He bouncing around. But I'll say this. It's a shame that Nick Wright's a white guy on Fox who actually spoke harder on this stuff. And shout out to Chris Long as well. But, hey, you guys take it easy, man.
Yeah,
all right, man.
Skip been going in too. But you know what's crazy? That just proves my point that he got fired from a site that was made for him. But when you talk bad about your people, you'll get picked up in no time.
Oh, yeah. Hey, but you know what? The funny thing is, I fought ESPN for that. I think you dropped the ball in the first place. You know Whitlock, like knowing now that it's been out what the Undefeated is about, the fact that he was your front man from the beginning, that's a dropping of the ball because you already know Whitlock's MO. So why was he ever the front man for?
But from stuff I read, because the thing about it is it wasn't about him. Like he had people that he hired, and he's the one that hired him, who actually disagree with most of his stuff, but were good writers. But from what I read that the split wasn't even about content or anything like that. They said that it was kind of his first time managing people, and he was horrendous at it. Like he didn't know how to run a big operation. They said he's good at what he does.
He was on some cool shit.
He's good at what he does, which is like basically trolling and talking about topics. But they wanted him to kind of like, because of that, it's sort of the analogy I always use when you have a guy who's a good mechanic and then you hire him to run the shop and he runs it into the ground because he knows how to work on the cars, but he doesn't know how to manage. So they kind of said that's what it was. Right. They said he was horrendous at managing people and trying to organize that whole thing. But that's either here nor there, man. We got to talk about some football before we get out of here, man.
It was like bringing the black dude who grew up in the white suburb to the hood to manage the people from the hood. That's another analogy right there too. But listen though, time to talk about the NFL. Preseason is over. The regular season has started. My team is undefeated, and for a couple of days we had the best record in the league. But this NFL wrap is brought to you by Sports. Smart people only read the sports. Bottom line is this: it's the best sports book you'll ever read. It's been compared to the Torah, as well as the Bible and the Quran, and you can buy it at sportsthebook.com or at warroomsports.com. Don't play yourself. Go buy this book. It's time to talk about some football, gentlemen. Yes, it is. As soon as I can find the John.
I refuse to talk until we find a John, man. It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some. Another movie quote. They not ready.
The Jack of Spades.
Jack. It's a mean theme song. Anyway, highlights from week one, man. It's so many crazy stories from week one. I mean, Carson Wentz is the savior. The Redskins stink. Dak Wentz is going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, where do you guys want to start with week one? What stood out the most to you in week one?
got his gold jacket last week, and they lost.
What stood out the most to you guys?
Few quick things. Really, man, I mean, of course, being an Eagles fan, of course, I like the performance of the quarterback. I want people to get their brand Nubian on and slow down a little bit on that, as well as Cowboy fans. I mean, they came into the season like that. Dak Prescott got his gold jacket in the preseason. The most interesting thing to me, though, besides the fact that the Colts defense stink, and it seems like that team is just going to have the same MO for the rest of their lives, the comeback by the Kansas City Chiefs. Because the funny part about it was me and B and a couple of fellas were sitting around watching football, being Eagles fans and having a lot of Andy Reid experience. We talked about his conservativeness in the play calling, but that's usually when he's up. I ain't gonna front, and I owe the boy a little bit of an apology. You know, I was a little disrespectful to Alex Smith because when they got down, my whole conversation was about, well, Alex Smith is a pretty good dude to have when everything's even or if you got a lead, but it's a wrap. They don't stand a chance with a quarterback like Alex Smith being down this much in the game.
Alex Smith
half
heard
an hour
you
later,
and felt disrespected and took it personal.
He was talking directly to me. Talking about
he took it personal.
Yeah.
F you, Dad. F you.
So
for me,
that was like one of the moments that stood out for me the most during this first weekend, and the fact that the Broncos did win with Simeon at quarterback. I didn't see anything special from him, but that defense showed you that they still got it.
But for me, what I saw from Simeon was the fact that he didn't look. Now, obviously, he's been in the league and he's not a rookie. He hasn't been in the league that long, but he never took a snap in a regular season game, and it didn't feel that way. Like
I think he had one snap, but he looked like a veteran backup who came in. Wasn't
but what I'm saying
shocked.
is
he wasn't.
He looked better than I thought. That's what shocked me. Like, it's something to work with there. And also one thing that I recognized in watching the game and how it was called is I'm starting to appreciate Gary Kubiak more. Now, granted, he just won a Super Bowl for Christ's sake, but just watching how he called this game, I'm really starting to appreciate him more as a coach. On the flip side of that,
I've kind of always thought he was a pretty good coach. Like I like.
He's a good coach. He just
ran out of time in Houston.
But I just also it was it's so many good stories from this weekend. I really enjoyed it. I don't know whether it's because it was the first weekend I just missed football, or that there was a lot of good games. In terms of the whole Dak Prescott thing.
I was about to say, Jim, that's a great point. It was a lot of good games, and a lot of times, like, we're not used to that anymore. Like, any given weekend, it's a bunch of blowouts. And really, Cleveland was the only team that got their heads.
The Miami-Seattle game was a good game. It was low scoring, but nonetheless, it was a good game. Also, on to the Dak Prescott
we got to hear from Nico. On that.
Shout out to Nico. Listen, what I was about to say about Dak Prescott, that has been in the making, but that just goes to show you that Jerry Jones is a god. And the fact of the matter is, whether that was Dak Prescott or B. Austin, if anybody shows any promise in the Cowboys uniform, it's just overhyped. But that's what the Cowboys are. So you gotta respect the marketing of said Dallas Cowboys. Like, if Dak Prescott played for the Cleveland Browns and had the same game and they lost, no one would care. But the fact of the matter is, he got that star. So
Jerry the King. Go ahead, B, because I got some bars on Dak.
You said you got some bars.
Salute to Jerry, because his franchise just got a $4.7 billion valuation as of late, which
Jerry the King.
Their steady climb. I think
that they're number one in the NFL.
Take notice. Take notice, world. The Raiders have arrived. Take notice. The Raiders have arrived. And,
the funny thing is, we can't even call B a week one bandwagon jumper, because I believe last week, prior to the season, he picked them to go to, like, did you have them in the Super Bowl?
Nah, in the
you
championship.
Had them far. Okay, yeah, you had them far.
Yeah, AFC Championship through the wild card, though. I don't have them winning the division. I have them going through the wild card. And I've been high on quarterback for
David Carr.
Yeah, for a long time. David Carr. Yeah, the other Carr. I've been high on him for a while, Paul. And
Ow.
No one's gonna get that. But yeah, I was surprised, and if the Saints, Conversio, the Saints ownership ought to be ashamed of themselves, because they have a gem in Drew Brees, and he don't got no help, yo. Not for real. I mean, I'm not telling them to pay him. I'm not saying pay him that $100 million that he's asking for at 40 years old. But they need to get that dude some help, man.
Shout out to
man. He was out there doing it by himself.
At the Blueprint, hate on the Raiders all you want, but you've got to give Jack Del Rio props. I'm just saying.
No, I don't. What do you do? He won. They want me to crown him now? He won one game. What am I giving him props for?
Yeah.
What do you do for us?
Nah, the Raiders gonna ball. Listen, your Broncos, Jimmy. I actually think y'all got really got something to build on. Because your defense is so good and your running game is above average, you don't need Simeon to be.
No, you're absolutely
he
right.
He doesn't have to go out and win games. So
I mean, no, you're absolutely right. And for me, like my own team surprised me because, and this is what I mean by just watching the game and watching
I picked them to lose that game.
And watching how I picked them to lose the game, and that's my squad. But watching how Kubiak like calls the game, and also to your point, B. Austin, the defense seems to be, I guess, there's less pressure. Like so, the way they're playing, like they're continuing what they did in the playoffs.
Yo,
because
they was Jack Tatum in Cam's ear hole.
Yeah, they were Jack Tatum and anyone who touched the pigskin. Like everybody got smacked.
I've never seen Tolbert get hit and go backwards. So y'all defense, y'all got something special.
I'm more excited about our season after the first game. I'm not gonna lie. Like going into the season, I thought it was gonna be like a letdown after winning the big game. Because it's often that way.
It was gonna be one of them seasons where you was just gonna ride high like, man, we defending champs until we not in the playoffs.
That's exactly what I was going to do. That's what I've been doing.
You was just gonna milk it.
Right.
It's like when the game came on, I was like slouched in my couch, and then by like the second quarter, I'm like sitting up, like let's go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm definitely.
Has Cam Newton regressed, or was it just one game? And
first of all, who am I to say that
wait.
So who am I to say yes?
I was about to say, because actually Cam looked like trash against this team last season, so you really can't call it a regression. He's playing the same against the same defense.
I mean,
we won't be able to judge that until, he plays some other teams. But
my thing is, who am I to say he hasn't regressed, or who am I to say that he has regressed? That's my point.
Okay. Right there, clearly on that sentence.
I don't get that. Yo, how you answer a question without answering a question? I'm going to now on.
And my Eagles, as far as my Eagles, I'm gonna let Dan spit bars on Dak Prescott. I think that he's going to surprise in a negative way. But my Eagles, we played the Cleveland Browns though. I mean, they're the Cleveland Browns. So let's hold the horses. I was pleased.
At the same time, because you or I are never known to go overboard on anything like that when Philly teams, especially the Eagles, are concerned, but not on the level of Jimmy because they're the defending champs. But there is a reason to be, at least to be a little excited about the season. Not excited like, we're going to the playoffs or anything like that. That's a reason to be excited. Like we might have something to build on. Like
it definitely is.
The same time the dude came out, his debut was like that. He could straight play like trash truck beats against the Chicago Bears, and a lot of people will start slandering him and jump off and all that kind of stuff. He's a rookie. You should expect that anyway. What he gave you last week was a bonus because he's not going to play like that every week. He's not going to do it. As far as Dak,
but it's definitely it's something to look forward to. It's like it's a reason to watch, and it's like because when's the last young quarterback the Eagles had to be excited about? Honestly, you don't like the guy, but it was McNabb. I mean,
it's been 1998. That's what I'm about to say. It's been since 1998. So
it's been McNabb.
I wasn't excited. I wanted Rippy. Like, no, go ahead.
Yeah, but as far as Dak is concerned, actually. Y'all might be surprised that I'm going kind of in a different direction. Like, Dak Prescott actually did impress me a little bit. I think, that the fact that the team only put up 19 points and scored one offensive touchdown, and that was on a rushing play, I think that tells you right there that everybody else is going way overboard. But I kind of dug his plays. A lot of times when I thought that plays were going to be a disaster and that it's not going to work, like he stood in there, made some throws. I did notice one thing though. I think the Cowboys offense has tweaked a little bit. Can I rap my name? I think like a lot of the routes that they were running, he hit people that were either stationary or running back towards him. So it's like they kind of made the targets a little bit easier. He's not hitting dudes, going across the middle, moving at full speed and stuff like that, unless it was on quick slants. So, you got to work to your quarterback's strength. So I'm not
what,
knocking that at all. But I don't want people to go overboard thinking that his skill set might be at a level where it's not, it's not there yet. But
here's the thing, though.
I was
impressed with Dakota as well.
When they got to the red zone, then
but the thing is, if Dez didn't have the drop seeds, he may have had some longer passes as well as a touchdown pass.
Right.
Dakota had a touchdown pass that Dez dropped. So I mean, what's up with Dez anyway? He seems like his drops are getting progressively worse.
That's what's up with him. He can't catch.
Jim, my thing is this. What's up with Dez?
Getting worse.
What's up with Dez doing that, but then always getting up and acting like he got robbed? Like, this was more obvious than the controversial one last year. Dude, you did not catch that ball. And he gets up after they make the decision on the replay and act like he got robbed. Dez, you didn't catch the ball. But I think Dez Bryant, I don't want to say it because Dez seems like a beast, but to me it seems like the only quarterback that he plays well with is Tony Romo.
Yeah, why is that? Which is funny because when Romo's not there, your team needs you to step up, and you step down.
Right. I mean, because even with Romo, though, he makes beastly catches where you were like, okay, Dez made that play. Romo, some of them, Romo just tossed it up. Dez made that play. But he doesn't seem to help out other quarterbacks like that. He doesn't help himself in them situations. So, yeah.
True story.
No, I'm not even going to knock Dak. Like, I'm not going to front. Like, when they play my team, I will be
Dakota. We're not calling him Dak. We're calling him Dakota.
Yeah, I'm going to be nervous to the point where Rain Dakota, I think he can keep them in some games. But Cowboys fans were going overboard, especially before the game. I had a Cowboys fan call me and tell me when they go 6-2 with Dakota, they're going to have a decision to make when Romo comes back, and he would rather that they stay with Dakota.
Yo, that started in the preseason. Like, Dakota has been getting reach around since the preseason.
Yeah.
He's tripping.
Anyway, man, yeah. So I mean, those are some of the things about week one that stood out to us. There was a lot. Another thing before we get out of here, RG3 is to the IR. Is this the last we'll ever see of RG3 or what?
No, it's not the last.
He'll be on the
sideline,
but might not be a
starter. Yeah, one of the things that I think that Dev and I observed, because we happen to watch that game together, is he has not grown as a quarterback. He's not grown. Like, he is the same player he was in 2012, maybe worse. And so, with that being said, he's a little too brittle to play in a system that puts him on the edge and exposes him to linebackers and safeties. So, until he can figure out how to pass the ball even a little bit from the pocket, I think he'll be a clipboard. I think he's going to be a career clipboard.
He overthrew so many wide open receivers in that game. He had a couple of throws in the first half. Terrell Pryor bailed him out on one. But other than that, he looked bad. And I think, if he continued to play at that pace, he was going to be in jeopardy of losing his job to McCown, whether he got hurt or not. So it to me, it was that bad, especially for somebody with the experience that he has. Like, he's not a rookie anymore. He's nowhere near it. Like, this dude is in like his fifth year, and he just didn't. He hasn't looked to have progressed. And he still doesn't know how to get out of harm's way because that injury was unnecessary, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's because the boy spent too much time eating.
Some people pointed. Yeah. Some of the people pointed to the fact that he left his wife and newly born baby to chase after Amira.
Yeah, all right, it's time to get out of here.
This was karma.
All right, y'all, we got to wrap,
striking.
man. You bugging right now, man. So thank you, everybody, for joining us in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, those on Facebook, Twitter, even GroupMe. We appreciate all the support. Special thanks to Fred Perdue for joining us with his college football report. Tune in next week, live right here on demand on the WRS Podcast Network. For more great sports talk, we'll recap week 2 of the NFL season and preview week 3. So until then, enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend of football. Don't forget, put your pick'ems in. You got a couple minutes left. And also enjoy the game tonight. Catch all of our conversations, everything we do, all of our social media, all of our webcasts, all of our podcasts. Everything can be found at warroomsports.com. That's the one hub to find everything we're doing, including our mobile apps, warroomsports.com. Also, pick up my book, Sports the Book. You can do that at sportsthebook.com or warroomsports.com. Until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
Peace.
I was on around town the other night. I asked my boys to down, they say, people, over we are the sight. Then we pop, rise, and tipsy pop. Pop, rise, and tipsy pop. Pop, rise, and tipsy pop.
Jimmy, know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, .Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Sports thrift secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Jack Beck, B. Austin. I'm shot. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.
Sizzly fans, celebrate! Sizzlies are just 2 for $3.33 at Wawa. Get your day going with Applewood smoked bacon, egg, and cheese on an all-butter croissant, or turkey sausage with egg whites on a bagel, or the classic, sausage, egg, and cheese on a bagel. Can't decide on one? Don't worry, you don't have to. Grab any 2 hot and ready-to-go Sizzlies, 2 for only $3.33. For a limited time, gotta have a Wawa. See store for details.